So, Game of Thrones has ended, huh? It's all said and done. Did you see the finale? Did you? Well, if you haven't or not, I'm about to spoil that shit for you right now. Spoiler alert, this is how Game of Thrones ends, so fucking Adebisi showed back up. Right? Fucking Adebisi showed right back up, right on HBO, right back where he came from. And he started running around, started pricking everybody with infected goddamn needles and shit all over the place. And everybody who had initially survived the last couple episodes of GOT, they all died from various overdoses of venereal diseases and shit. Adebisi won the game, and now he's taking his black ass to Disneyland. Bang your head to the opening riff! Alright, so obviously that is not how Game of Thrones ended at all. I've never seen it, but I could pretty much bet good money that Adebisi showing back up is not how the shit ended. But given today's social media climate, I probably could have gone and typed that shit online and at least had half the population believing that, at least for like a good hour or two. I don't know. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy J-Dub here, and welcome to episode 33 of The Real Rush, right here on YouTube. I stammered that a little bit. You know why? Because this is my birthday weekend, suckers! Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to Dubby. Happy birthday to me. I'm on vacay, so the kids not all there right here. Obviously not if I almost forgot the name of my own damn show. But, yeah, the kids usually not all right there. Anyway, 37 now. I got carded for smokes on my 37th birthday. No greater feeling in the world than that shit, so apparently I don't look old enough to smoke yet. And I'm a year, well, how's it go? Double the age plus a year than you need to be to legally smoke those things. Or smoke any type of tobacco products, that is. So, maybe the kid's onto something. So, aside from any type of debauchery or anything that I have yet to do to debauch myself over my birthday vacay, I can tell you at least what I've been spending the last couple days doing, and that's doing what the Rush does best, and that is making and breaking milestones. Making and breaking milestones? Making milestones, breaking records here. Matter of fact, I forgot to set myself a little note. Yeah, alright. Yeah, making milestones, breaking records here on The Real Rush. So let's go ahead and get on down to brass tacks. Last week, at the end of last week's episode, I mentioned that I was going to have 7 new movie reviews for y'all this week. Well, let's go ahead and get started with that. All is true? Well, all is not true, because I don't have 7 new movie reviews for y'all this week. I only have 6 new movie reviews for y'all this week. Unfortunately, I was not able to get to All Is True due to scheduling reasons. If you were looking forward or for that review, my apologies. Hopefully, I will have that for y'all. Episode 34 next weekend. But what does the kid have for you this episode? Now that everybody's favorite TV show is over, I do have 6 new reasons for y'all to get your fat ass up off the couch, stop the binging, and get your ass back to the movie theater. Because, hey, we are in official summer blockbuster season. I know, usually, officially it doesn't start till Memorial Day. But we kicked that off the last couple years whenever an Avengers movie come out or a Marvel movie come out, you know, at the beginning of May or at the end of April. So, hey, we're in official summer blockbuster season. So there are 6 new movies here that are here to be reviewed, here to be seen by you. Reviewed by me, seen by you. Let's get on down to brass tacks. So let's go ahead and kick things off with... Do I want to kick things off with the new release from this weekend, and we can either go with John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, or do I want to kick things off with my advanced review of Rocketman? I don't think I'm going to do what I did with y'all with Shazam a couple weeks ago and keep playing with your balls all episode and say that shit to the end of the episode. No, 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 no. Let's go ahead and kick things off. Rocketman, ladies and gents. Advanced Fandango screening up at the Angelica last night. Not only was the movie special for that reason, because for the Angelica be having an early screening of something, Fandango is pretty huge, but with Rocketman, Rocketman is the 450th Ultimate Rush entry. So since I started the Real Rush back in January 2017, that makes Rocketman the 450th movie seen in the theater for the first time by these eyes. No repeats in that time frame. How is Rocketman? Does it stand up to being, to have such an epic milestone, rush-wise, bestowed upon it? Let's see. So for those that slept, or for those that have been watching way too much throne gaming, or whatever, winter falling, winter is coming, Rocketman is the straight-up new biopic about legendary Elton John. And Elton in Rocketman is played by Taron Egerton, who ironically starred with in Kingsman just a couple years ago. Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Ain't checked that out yet? You should check that out too. So, I should say that this is an upcoming biopic. It is new, but it is upcoming, because if you didn't see it last night, you're going to have to wait about another almost 2 weeks before you can actually check it. Don't go online and try to stream that shit. I will find your ass. Anywho, so we got Taron Egerton as Elton John, and we follow the story of Elton John from his childhood all the way up to when he becomes a worldwide icon, phenomenon, rock star as he achieves that fame. It details his friendship and partnership with Bernie Taupin. What's up, Bernie? We're just gonna call you Bernie. If I messed up your name, sir, I do apologize. But his partnership with Bernie and his friendship with Bernie, and also detailed his struggles with, trying to find himself in regards to his identity and his sexuality, and it also detailed his struggles with his substance abuse. The cool thing about Rocketman is it's almost all told in a musical narrative. Yeah. And it does this by, of course, showcasing some of Elton's biggest all-time hits. The cast all sings their own numbers, including Taron Egerton singing as Elton John. And apparently in the audition, he killed it. Apparently, from what I heard, it was almost like when Val Kilmer auditioned to be Jim Morrison for The Doors back in the early 90s. Apparently, he sounded so close to Elton, some people couldn't tell the difference. And the same way goes in the movie as well. You're going to need to see it to believe it, ladies and gents. But Rocketman also stars, we also have Jamie Bell, we have Bryce Dallas Howard, we have Richard Madden, and we have Stephen Graham in this. This is directed by Dexter Fletcher, which is ironic because Rocketman is being compared a lot to last year's epic movie, Bohemian Rhapsody, where our boy Rami took home a Best Actor award at the Oscars. This is being compared a lot to that, but I find it ironic in this because of the fact that Dexter Fletcher is the man who stepped in for Bryan Singer to finish up directing Bohemian Rhapsody after some tension, led to his dismissal from the set of that movie. So this is all Dexter Fletcher's movie, okay? So if this gets nominated for anything in the next couple months, he's going to get the credit for it, unlike what happened with Bohemian Rhapsody. But then again, let's keep this separate. I must admit, Rocketman is most certainly one of the most ambitious biopics that I've ever seen, especially with the fact that it's told by that musical narrative. I don't think that such a thing would have worked so well if this had been tried just a few years ago. In fact, I'm about to go out on a limb here and say that if it weren't for La La Land, my personal Best Picture of 2016. If it weren't for that movie coming out of left field and pretty much rejuvenating the musical genre in today's cinema and doing such a fan-fucking-tastic job of doing it, I don't think that this would have worked as well. But since we now have that, you know, ingrained back into mainstream cinematic society, Rocketman completely works on that level and then some. I also really dug how, now in this aspect I will somewhat compare it to Bohemian Rhapsody. Rocketman does not hold back at all in revealing the more intimate details of Elton's life. This is actually notable for being the first major Hollywood film production to show on-screen sex between gay males. So there's a little nugget of knowledge for you. So once again, not only is the Real Rush breaking milestones, Rocketman about to break some milestones, y'all. So in that respect, can it or should it truly be compared to Bohemian Rhapsody? I don't think it should. Because they're two completely different movies. Are they along the same lines, biography-wise? Yes. But two completely different movies. So if you go into this expecting Bohemian Rhapsody, you're going to get something completely different. I'm not saying you're going to be disappointed. You should not be disappointed by Rocketman by any means. Or vice versa. If you watch Bohemian Rhapsody after you watch Rocketman and you think that it's going to be something like, no, don't do that, don't do that. That seems to be a problem with today's moviegoers. They try to compare it too much to past or recent movies that are very similar in the same aspects. Don't do that. This is its own movie. It's about a different person. Has some of the same characters as Bohemian Rhapsody, but this is a different movie altogether. The packed house at the Angelica last night, absolutely loved it. Singing along with the songs, as did I. So was I. I was asked by one of my boys up at the Angelica last night. He came to me, he said, J-Dub, is it good? I said, hell yeah, it's good, brother. He said, would you see it again when it's actually officially released in about 2 weeks? And I said, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's saying something that I would definitely give Rocketman a second viewing once it comes back out in theater. This is one, and I know I say this for every movie, ladies and gents, but this shit is made for the big screen, okay? So when it hits theaters on May 31st, or if you make it out the previous night before, you know, see those Thursday night screenings, so May 30th, when this comes out, go check it out in the highest quality format possible, because the music is bumping, it'll make you feel good, and everybody knows Elton John. Everybody know Elton John, man. How can you not love Elton John? Go see this man's story. Even if you don't know much about the man, go see this man's story. It's truly inspiring. Especially if you're a dreamer. Or if you're struggling with, you know, identity issues and things of that sort yourself. You know? It don't always got to be about the music. It don't always got to be about the main plot line of the movie. There could be something, you know, subplot-wise that may affect you very nearly and dearly. You just never know. So Rocketman, go check it out when it opens May 30th. I'm saying May 30th. I know on the poster there it says May 31st. I'm saying May 30th. Go get out there, see them Thursday night showings, get a jump on it, because if last night's crowd was any indication, that's going to be a hot ticket come the weekend after next. So Rocketman, check that shit out when it come out. Alright? Alright. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. Now, we're going to get to this weekend's new releases. And we're going to get to the other badass J-Dub who likes to run around and fuck shit up when he's provoked, of course. Not just for any reason. I'm talking about Mr. Wick, Mr. John Wick. John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum. And how ironic that on J-Dub's birthday weekend comes the other J-Dub movie. Didn't see that one coming a couple years ago, because the first John Wick came out in like October or November, and then the second one came out in February. It was one of the first movies that we ever saw as part of the Real Rush, actually. And now we got this one on my birthday weekend. How is Parabellum? I'm going to tell you right now. So, it is obviously if you didn't catch on what I was just laying down for you right now, it is the latest installment of the John Wick film series, and it picks up right where Chapter 2 left off. I'm not going to spoil any plot points or anything about what happens in Chapter 2 that leads to this point, but if you haven't seen the trailer for Chapter 3, it does give away something. But you don't exactly know why it's going on. So to fully grasp what's going on, yeah, I would say that you need to see Chapters 1 and 2. But right now we talk Chapter 3. So, we're picking up with Mr. Wick, who has now been branded as excommunicado. All services are shut down for this man. And he's got a goddamn $14 million bounty on his head. Making it literally Wick versus the world. It's just the Wick against the world, baby. Wick against the world. You got nothing to lose. It's Wick against the world, baby. Seriously, because everybody and they mama and they mama's mama and they mama's mama is after that man at this point with such a huge ass bounty on his head. And they gonna be coming from every nook and cranny of the earth to try and get this motherfucker. He's a badass dude. But if you know anything about John Wick, he ain't gonna go down easy. No. This brings back Ian McShane, Lawrence Fishburne, and Lance Reddick from the previous couple movies. And it adds newcomers to the storyline. We got Halle Berry as a newcomer. And we have Angelica Houston, new to the story. All in all, I'm gonna start with the bad first. Now this is the bad about John Wick Chapter 3. In my honest opinion, it is the weakest of the John Wick series so far. But, this one's got a huge ass. But, don't let that take anything away from this movie, okay? Don't let it take anything away from it, because it's still damn good. It's still damn good. All three of the John Wick movies are winners. This one just happens to be the weakest, in my opinion. But this one's still a winner. So that says something about the movie franchise as a whole. The action is so leveled up in John Wick Chapter 3 at this point that the film is now more of a ton of brutal, violent fucking action sequences that are all linked together with some plot in between. Instead of, your usual reverse route, a whole bunch of plot with some action sequences linking everything. No. This one is generally a big ass action sequence. And it's fucking awesome. They've even upper intricated, that's right, I said upper intricated, the gung fu and the knowledge of it and the technicalities of it and everything, it just keeps getting more and more intricate with each passing John Wick movie. So that's a level up for this movie. Some of the elements have become so out there and, for lack of a better term, absurd by this point that the sky is the fucking limit on exactly where John Wick himself and the franchise can push its own boundaries at this point. So yeah, just good fun. Just good fun. So on record, I would like to go ahead and state that the John Wick trilogy, now that it is a trilogy, in my honest opinion, and it does hurt a little bit to say this, is better as a whole than the Matrix trilogy. I know, two completely different films, two completely different types of trilogies and what have you, but the trilogy as a whole, better than the Matrix trilogy as a whole. But not better than solely the original Matrix movie. No one John Wick movie beats the original Matrix movie. The trilogy, boom. John Wick trilogy, yes, better than the Matrix trilogy. And I stuck with the Matrix trilogy through the end. I didn't say that I didn't like the Matrix trilogy. I was one of the very few people that actually dug the Matrix trilogy all the way through to the end, but here we are, John Wick. So, the franchise fans will not be disappointed in Chapter 3. see this as soon as possible. Don't let anything get spoiled for you. For anybody who has not seen the first two John Wicks, I just said it at the beginning of this review. Do yourself a huge favor. Go watch the first two before you see this one. Get completely caught up on the story. It's 2 movies, okay? It's way easier to binge than trying to catch up on 7 previous seasons of any TV series. Catch up on these 2 movies. Go see John Wick Chapter 3. And see it in IMAX, because I saw it up at the Air and Space Museum, y'all. See this in the highest quality possible. Go get your fix on with John fucking Wick. Well, don't you know? Alright. Moving right along. What's next up on this episode's Real Rush Tickets? So we're going to go from the drugs and the drink and the violence to something a little bit more family happy. Family happy. We're talking about the new family film, A Dog's Journey. Okay, I'm going to kill that voice right there. A Dog's Journey, y'all. This is a sequel to the 2016 family film, A Dog's Purpose. And this is also set along the same film/book series from W. Bruce Cameron as A Dog's Way Home that we saw and reviewed right here on The Real Rush a couple months ago. Now this one follows the lovable Bailey, I'm going to say that again, the lovable Bailey, through his many dog lives to now seek out and protect a young girl named CJ from childhood into adulthood. This also stars Dennis Quaid, Mark Helgenberger. We have Betty Gilpin, Catherine Prescott, and we once again have the voice of Josh Gad as Bailey. Purpose, A Dog's Purpose, I should say, is the only movie in this film series that I have yet to see, but just like A Dog's Way Home, I cried all the way through this motherfucker, y'all. Almost all the way through this motherfucker. Just about all the way, because there were some very funny moments in this where I wasn't crying. I think those are the only points where I wasn't crying while watching A Dog's Journey. So if you've seen, what I'm trying to get at, if you've seen A Dog's Purpose or you've seen A Dog's Way Home, you kind of have an idea of what's coming. But, happy tears. Some sad tears in there, but mostly happy tears. Just good tears. Sometimes good to get them fluids out, get them feelings out. Yes, this is such a sweet and heartwarming film. It's most certainly very enjoyable for and by all ages. See this. Bring tissues, bring the family, go see A Dog's Journey, and just warm your heart. Go see something happy. Get away from the death and destruction and everything for just a second, and go see something a little bit more harmonious and peaceful. And yes, A Dog's Journey is just ripe for that occasion. So, A Dog's Journey, now playing everywhere. Go check it out. Next up on today's Real Rush Tickets, we have the new young adult movie based on the young adult novel. We're talking about The Sun Is Also a Star. And this follows teenagers. We have Natasha, who doesn't quite believe in love. And we also have Daniel, who believes in fate. And he sets out to make Natasha fall in love with him over the course of one day. Now, where's the problem here? Where's the problem that's gonna, possibly come in between these two if she does decide to fall for Daniel here? Well, their potential bond is truly tested when Natasha's family is facing immediate deportation. Boom. So The Sun Is Also a Star. Given the fact that it is a young adult romance novel turned movie, I will admit it has some cheesiness to it at certain points. It almost feels, I haven't read the novel itself, but just the way that some of the words and stuff were being portrayed on screen, it almost seemed as if they were using the novel itself as the screenplay. I'm not sure if that's working completely in their favor or not. It did have some overly melodramatic acting to it. Plus, I didn't find that it had the smoothest transition going from Act 2 to Act 3. Not to give anything away here. But, overall, because I like to find the positives in all movies here on The Real Rush, it is a very sweet movie. I think that young date night audiences will dig this the most, since it is catered to the young adult audience. So, for those who may have read the book, go check it out. If you're a fan of the book, go see how it compares to it. See if it's better or worse than that. I'm not sure, but let me know. But most certainly, I'd say I would give The Sun Is Also a Star, I'd say give it a C. Not a C as in a grade, but C as in go see it. I see no reason why this should be denied by any means necessary. Whether you want to see this as a matinee or not, go check out The Sun Is Also a Star and let your boy know what you thought about it. How we doing on time here right now? We got time for one more before for a little break skis here? Yeah? Alright, let's do this. So, next up on the Real Rush ticket, we have, now this is one that I was really looking forward to, another hotly anticipated movie. Talk about Trial by Fire. This is the new film from Edward Wick, who some of y'all know, director of Glory, Legends of the Fall, Courage Under Fire. I mean, some great movies of our generation here this man has directed. Here's another one from the man. Now this accounts the true story of Cameron Todd Willingham. He was a Texas man who was convicted in 1992 of the murder of his 3 daughters by arson and landed on death row. Now fast forward to 12 years later, a woman by the name of Elizabeth Gilbert discovers new evidence as well as possible corruption behind the original trial that may not have only sent an innocent man to the death row who's about to be executed, but this could also lead to the overturning of Todd's original ruling and his execution before it's too late. We have Jack O'Connell as Cameron Todd Willingham, and we have Laura Dern as Elizabeth Gilbert. And wow, when you go to see this, and I'm saying when you go to see Trial by Fire, all right, there's a reason that this one should not be waited to be seen, because this is an amazing story that has to be told, needs to be seen. You know, when it comes to innocent people about to be executed, and innocent people just, you know, that have gotten convicted of a crime they didn't commit in general, this movie definitely leads fuel to, you know, let's you know, have these people have their another day in court if there's been new evidence and so forth. But most certainly be prepared for a heavy hitter with this one. It's emotional and it's very angering at times, as I found my blood boiling at some points. Definitely see it. I'm not sure how wide the release is on this right now, but I will say this: if you don't know the actual true story behind Cameron Todd Willingham before seeing this movie, don't read about it. And I say that about any movie that's based off a true story. Don't read about it before you go to see this movie, because that affects the impact of it all overall. There you go. So yeah, don't go read into it if you don't know anything about the true story before you see this movie. It makes the impact of the movie itself that much more effective and drives the point that much further home that quicker. So Trial by Fire, go check that joint out. We have to take a quick break before we get to our last movie here, ladies and gents. So let's go see what our old boy, the perfect athlete, Tony Nese, is up to.
We're about to find out here in about 5 minutes after Tony Nese comes through with his weak ass 4.5-minute entrance, pointing at his abs for like each of like half the minutes. 4.5 minutes.
Come over here. Come here, I want to show you something.
No, don't zoom in on that
This right
bullshit.
here, this is why I'm the premier athlete. And let me show you something else. Let's count it out together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 reasons why I'm the premier athlete. 8 reasons why I'm better than each and every one of you.
God damn it, Tony Nese.
Making his way to the ring from Long Island, New York, weighing in at 196 pounds, the premier athlete, Tony Nese.
Fucking Tony Nese coming all the way out here to Tokyo, Japan, still talking all that shit about why each of his abs are better than every single person in this arena, better than you or me, better than anyone watching this pay-per-view. Are you fucking kidding me?
You know, I can do all that shit with my pecs and my abs too, you know. I could, but I'm not going to because YouTube is simply just not zoned to handle all this. Nah. Them servers will fucking break down in a goddamn millisecond if I were to just show just a peek of this. So. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love you. Alright, so we got one more movie for y'all. I know that's an odd place to take a break, but we got one more motherfucking movie for y'all for this episode. And not only is this just the last movie on the Real Rush tickets, but we did go a little bit out of order with today's movie reviews, obviously. Because John Wick we saw on Thursday, and then Rocketman we saw last night. So we did a little bit of back and forth, but ooh, excuse me. That one was brought to you by Pepsi. The movie here that I'm about to review, let's just go ahead and throw it up on screen. The Biggest Little Farm. The Biggest Little Farm, before we get down to the actual review of it, is this season's 70th fucking Rush entry. 70. 70. 7-0. To put that in perspective for y'all. Okay, so as I stated earlier, Rocketman is the 450th movie, ultimate entry, that we've seen as part of the Real Rush in the last almost 2.5 years. Right? Okay? Now, with Trial by Fire last night, that makes 451. Biggest Little Farm is the 70th of this year, of this season. To put that in perspective, last season, we didn't reach 70 until sometime late May, early June. It was like that very last weekend going from May into June. So we're ahead of the curve there. And season 1, we didn't reach 70 until August. I've seen as many movies already this season as it took me almost 7 months to see the first season. Dun 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 dun. See, I can't do that with no shirt off right there because your computer would have blown up and just ladies screaming. Ah! Well, maybe some guys screaming too. I don't know. Ooh, yeah, because I have that effect. All right. YouTube would have had to rebuild shit from scratch, and I would help because I'm a man. But I don't live on a farm, so maybe not so much. So let's actually get to The Biggest Little Farm. So The Biggest Little Farm, let's give ourselves a golf clap there for breaking milestones. Making milestones, breaking records, y'all. Alright, so Biggest Little Farm, new documentary that follows John and Molly Chester. And this is somewhat of an origin story for them. Not pertaining to their relationship or anything. No. This is an origin story more so as it shows not only how they became the owners of Apricot Lane Falls, Apricot Lane Farms out in California, but more shows how they set out to complete their dream of running one of the world's most diverse, as far as like vegetation goes, different types of vegetation all over the place, but diverse and completely self-sustainable farms that fully coexist with nature, man. Big dreams. Now, big dreams take big work, and sometimes they come at a big cost, right? Everybody know that. Such is life. C'est la vie. This highlights the ups and downs of such a project, from highly successful produce sales to having to deal with some of those downs, such as drought and pests and wildfires and other environmental factors that neither John nor Molly really saw coming, because before this, they lived the city life. But they set out on that dream, y'all. And how much of a success did it fully become? How did they get to being the Apricot Lane Farms that they know, that is now well known nowadays? I gotta hand it to them. This is one of the year's best documentaries so far. So, movie-wise, the Real Rush golf clap of this episode goes out to John and Molly Chester. Good job. Good show. This will touch your heart and soul, even if farming is not your topic of choice. Because that's, like I said, I saw this yesterday before Rocketman, Saturday afternoon. When I feel like when I'm about to go into a documentary on a Saturday afternoon, it's like, I'm about to go see something educational on a Saturday afternoon. But I'm so glad that I did. So glad that I did. This is something that, once again, much like A Dog's Journey, everyone will enjoy. Everyone's going to gain something from it. If it's not some type of education on, nature itself or farming itself, but you're going to get something, emotionally educational as well from this. So, dreamers and nature enthusiasts will most certainly dig The Biggest Little Farm the most. But, as I just stated once again, everybody should see this. It's in limited release right now. We know the Angelica has it. I'm not sure who else in this area has it. But since YouTube is not just tied to just the DC metro area, wherever you may be, check The Biggest Little Farm out. And yes, once again, I say this about every movie, like I just said about John Wick and Rocketman. But you gotta see this in the theater. It specifically says that this is made to see in the theater. You don't get to see documentaries of this kind of scale on the big widescreen. That is just, it doesn't have that straight up educational feel for it. It doesn't feel like something that the teacher would have thrown on at 12:30 on a fucking Tuesday afternoon and you might sleep halfway through. No. This is made to be seen on the big screen, y'all. This is a story that is made to be told for mass audiences to see at one time. Well before, and these are the key words here, before it hits streaming media. Get up off your asses, go see The Biggest Little Farm, now playing in select theaters. Find a theater near you and go check this joint out. Really good. Really good. And just like Game of Thrones, ladies and gents, that's a wrap for episode 33 of the Real Rush right here on YouTube. I almost fucked up the name of the Real Rush again. But on a side note, I would like to thank everyone who came out to this past Friday's Stagecoach Bandits, third Friday of the month show, our improv show. It was another hit with our audience, so yeah. Go ahead, Bandits, and thank y'all once again for everybody who came out and joined. Please stay tuned for details on our June show, which I will have for y'all as soon as I find those out myself. Thanks again, once again, for all the birthday wishes, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy J-Dub definitely felt the birthday love here. Thank you so much. You do love me. Anywho, please stay tuned for next week's Real Rush episode 34, where your boy will have reviewed for you And we got a little bit of a big weekend next weekend, seeing as the next weekend is Memorial Day weekend. So if you haven't officially called it the start of the summer blockbuster season yet, then yes, this coming weekend is the official start of the summer blockbuster season. If you don't follow the whole late April, early May thing that we were talking earlier. You're starting late these days, but hey, you're still starting better late than never, whatever. So next week I will have reviewed for y'all. We will have Aladdin. Looking forward to that. Go side. Oh, that's we're also going to have Brightburn. Definitely looking forward to that. This whole dark, bizarro take on a Superman story. Not actual Superman, but on the similar premise. If you've seen the trailer, you check out the trailer. Yeah, check out the trailer. Booksmart. Been seeing a lot of trailers for this lately. Just saw the Red Band trailer for this last night. Cannot wait for Booksmart. It looks like it's like a more grown-up version of 8th Grade mixed with Superbad. Definitely looking forward to it. This one popped up. I thought it wasn't going to pop up until our May 31st weekend show, but looks like next weekend we may have a chance, of course, fingers crossed, we may have a chance to see Nonfiction. The trailer for that looks pretty good as well. Definitely check that out. We also have The Souvenir, and hopefully, as I stated at the very beginning of today's episode, we will go ahead and see All Is True, and we will have that review for you next weekend on The Real Rush. Because, once again, Branagh doing Shakespeare as Shakespeare, and he's acting and directing, and yeah, I mean, that's got great movies spelled all over it. That pained me a little bit to have to not be able to make that fit the schedule this episode. But once again, I do apologize. We should have that review for y'all next week. But in the meantime, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, anything for your boy at all here on The Real Rush, please don't hesitate to go ahead and type those on into this YouTube page where you happen to be viewing this episode right now. Or send me a DM. That's cool too. I accept those. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'd like to thank all y'all who have helped jump up our subscribers these last couple days. We're now over the halfway mark. So we're now less than 50 subscribers away from being able to have that custom URL. Looking forward to that day, so please keep spreading the word of The Real Rush like everybody should be spreading love these days, y'all. And please continue to subscribe. Thank y'all for everybody who has subscribed thus far. And as always, you can also follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur. That is at JDubChampion, #The Real Rush. And once again, for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy J-Dub. Thank you again for watching episode 33 right here on YouTube. I'm about to go watch my happy ass Money in the Bank pay-per-view now on tonight. Money in the Bank, Diamond Z, dig in the scene with a gangster lean. Ooh. I make up my own lyrics. I don't give a fuck. So I'm gonna go watch Money in the Bank. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Go out to the movies now that the winter games are all over. Get your asses up. Go to movies. When you're at the movies, chill out, y'all. Okay? Don't be talking. Keep the cell phones away. Turn the brightness down on your smartwatches. Turn them off if possible. You can always turn back on after the movie. The time is still going to be there for you afterwards. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. And we'll see you next weekend! Peace out!